All right, good day everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Um, the last time I dropped a video here, I promised that I was going to do a video. I was going to be posting more educational content on tips on how to maximize the forex market, right? So to keep to that promise today, I'll be, you know, teaching us something that is very important if you want to master the market. So today I'll be teaching us on the types of support and resistance. SNR here stands for support and resistance. Alright, so we'll be looking at the different types of support and resistance that we have um, in the market, and I hope we'll be able to understand them properly so that our trading can make sense. So the first type of SNR we have is what we call the um, head and shoulder, or what some people prefer to call left shoulder SNR. So left shoulder SNR. All right. The second type of support and resistance that we have is what we call the apex support and resistance, the apex SNR. The third type of support and resistance we have is what we call the open close, or open and close support and resistance. Open and close support and resistance. I'll be showing us multiple examples on the chart so that when you see those examples in live situation when trading, you'll be able to navigate the market and make the most of your trading. Now the final type of SNR that we have is what we call the RBS, and the SBR. So RBS stands for resistance breaks become support, and SBR stands for support break becomes resistance. Yeah, so these are the four types of SNR that we have. If you want to maximize your trading, you must understand them. We have the left shoulder SNR. It's not S and T, it's SNR. Sorry about that. Left shoulder SNR, apex SNR, open and close, and the RBS resistance break becomes support, and the SBR support breaks becomes resistance. All right, why is it important to understand the different types of SNR? It is important to understand the different types of support and resistance because it helps you to know how to navigate the market. When you understand this type of support and resistance, you'll be able to identify them in the market, because those are the levels that trading occur from. That is where major institutional moves happen in the market. Okay, so let's proceed to the chart as I show you different examples. So the first one we'll be looking at is what we call the left shoulder support and resistance. So let me start. This is a daily time frame. You can identify these types of support and resistance on all time frames, whether higher time frames or lower time frames. But if you want to follow market direction, your emphasis should always be on higher time frame. And one of the easiest way to be able to identify this support and resistance is by using the line chart. If you find it hard to identify on the candlestick, you can just go and change your chart to a line graph or a line chart, and then you'll be able to identify them. So we have the left. Let's identify this head and shoulder using the line chart. So the first example we have is here. This is a left shoulder resistance. Okay, left shoulder resistance, where I just draw this line. So in this place you can see that we have the head here where my cursor is. This is the head. Now this place is the left shoulder, and now this is where price currently is the right shoulder. So you have the head, left shoulder, the right shoulder. So this type of resistance is called left shoulder resistance, because you can see that the resistance is occurring from the left shoulder of the head in this scenario. Okay, so this is a head and shoulder pattern on the daily time frame. Let's go down to our chart and see if we can identify more examples like that on the daily time frame. All right, so we can see another head and shoulder pattern here on the daily. Follow me closely. Look at where my cursor is. See this? Yes. So this place where I just drew this line is called left shoulder support. This left shoulder support. So you have the head, okay, you have a left shoulder here, and you can see that when price came here to the left shoulder, it reacted from there and price kept going up. So this is left shoulder support. It's a type of support and resistance that we use in identifying key positions in the market. You see price touch it, reacted from it, and then we had a continuation of the bullish momentum in this case. So this is a left shoulder support. Let's go back to our line chart for easy identification. All right, so let's look for more examples. There are so many examples. Anytime you are trading in the market, you keep finding them over and over again. So I think there's another example here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so you have here, okay, this is head and shoulder. So you have the left shoulder support here, you have the left shoulder support here, you have the head, and then you have price forming the right shoulder here. If we change to the line chart, I'm sure price will touch it. Yes, you see, price came, touched that place, and started buying from there. So this is head and shoulder support on the chart. So this is the first type of support and resistance that we have identified on the chart. Hope it is understandable. Hope everyone is following, and hope when you open your chart next time, you'll be able to identify this type of support and resistance on the chart, because there are levels where trades take place from. Institutional moves occur from there, and if you see confirmation from such levels, you can catch very nice and decent trades in the market. Okay, the second type of support and resistance that we have is what we call the apex support and resistance, the apex SNR. Whenever we talk about apex, apex talks about the top of something, all right, the extreme of something, the pinnacle of something. Okay, so when we talk about apex support and resistance, it refers to support and resistance that you can find at extreme levels in the market. For instance, and like I said earlier, you can also use your line chart to identify it. Okay, if you are a new person and you are just trying to learn, you can use your line chart. But the trick to this is that if you want to find an apex resistance, for instance, all you need is to find an A on the line chart. Okay, so you can go to your line chart every time, and wherever you see an A, it is an apex support, apex resistance, pardon me. And then when you go and you have a V, V stands for apex support. Okay, V stands for apex support. So while A stands for apex resistance, V stands for apex support on the line chart. And how do you mark it? This point is your support level, okay, and then this point is your resistance level whenever you change to a line chart. So I'm just breaking it down for you to understand it perfectly, that the easiest way you can identify your apex support or apex resistance on the chart is by using A and V on the line chart and drawing your support or resistance line at the extreme of that A or V. Let me show you what I'm talking about on the chart. Can we proceed? Yeah, let's proceed to the chart to see the example. So now that we are on the chart, I'll go and change to the line chart. All right. And remember, I said wherever we find an A, it is what? Apex resistance. So here we have an A. Okay. This is an A. This is an A. So this is an apex resistance. All right. We have another A here, which is also an apex resistance here. But you can see in this case, price broke the resistance, retested it, and kept going up. Okay. So wherever you see A, it is resistance. All right. And then when you see V, for instance, this is a support. Okay. V is support. V is support. V is support. Like that. So that is how to identify the apex support and resistance levels on the chart. This is another support level. This is another support level. Very easy. This is another support level. And then this is another support level. All right. So understanding this will help you to know the levels that you will take your trades from. It is very, very important, and you must learn how to master identifying apex support and resistance on your chart. I hope that is well understood. I hope everyone is following, and I hope you'll be able to understand it when you watch this video. So moving forward, the next type of support and resistance that we have is what we call the open close support and resistance. Now this type of support and resistance is found mainly on higher time frames. All right. So you can find it on time frames like monthly, weekly, and daily time frames. Those are where it is very powerful. So an open and close support and resistance is that space between two candles of the same form, right, where price can react from. Let me show you examples on the daily. Since I'm using daily charts, we can still find it. So now when you see this where my cursor is, you can see that we have three bullish candles. We have one, we have two, and then we have three. All right, follow me. So you can see this space here, this space between this daily candle and the other daily candle, this daily candle and this daily candle. This space here is called the open and close support. This is an open and close support because this is where this candle closed, this first green candle that I'm identifying here, right? This first green candle, this is where it closed, and this is where the other candle opened. That's the concept behind it. So it's open close, open close. So open close support. That's why you saw that the following day, price tapped into that level and it kept moving up. So when you see levels like this, you mark them and you wait for confirmation, and you can be taking your trades from such levels in the markets. They are very powerful levels that trades occur from in the market: open and close, support and resistance. So let's look for an example of open and close resistance, if we're going to find any. Open and close resistance, open and close resistance. I'm looking at my chart to see if I can find any example of that. Yeah, and we have one here. So you see this place here, right? Yes. So these are two bearish candles. Even though this one looks like a doji, but it's still a bearish candle because it closed like white. So you can see the space between this candle, where this candle closed and this candle open, is an open and close resistance. Okay, so that's why you see that price came there and it reacted from there shortly before price broke and went up. So that is how to identify open and close support and resistance on your chart. Hope everyone is following. All right. So the final type of resistance that we have is what we call the RBS and the SBR. RBS and SBR. RBS means resistance breaks becomes support. Okay. And SBR stands for support breaks becomes resistance. I'm going to show you examples. So the easiest way to also identify your RBS most time is to use the line chart. Okay, so let me give you examples using this line chart. Let's go to the line chart, and then you see the line chart. We can see that this is an A. Don't forget, we said that A stands for what? Resistance. So A is resistance. Can you see that? So this was a resistance level, and then price came and broke that level. After breaking that level, later on in the future, price came back to that level. So this is a resistance break, and once that resistance has broken, when price comes back there, that resistance will act as what? A support. It will no longer be a resistance, but it will be a support. So this is what we call RBS. Resistance breaks becomes support. Resistance breaks becomes support. Let's go to the candlestick so that you see it well. So you can see this is a resistance. Price broke it, came back on a later day, retested it, and then it kept pushing up from here. So this is a clear example of what? RBS. Resistance breaks becomes support. Look at another example here, I guess. Yeah. Okay, it did not really touch it. There are so many examples that you can see in the market when you are trading. Let me show you an example of SBR. We just look at RBS. All right, so we are mostly having resistance break become support because of how bullish the market is. But notwithstanding, you can still find support breaks becomes resistance. Okay, now look at it here. You can check on 4-hour time frame to see it. Okay, let's go to 4-hour. You can find it more easily there, right? Okay, let's go back to the daily time frame. So we have an example here. I've seen an example. So this place, you can see that this is a support. Remember, we say support is what? V. Don't forget that. Support is V. So this is V. This is V. Okay, you have your V, which is support. But what happened? Price broke it. So this is support breaks. Later on, price came back there to retest it, and then it kept going down. Change to the candlestick, you see it clearly. So you have support breaks becomes resistance. So when price came back to retest that level, it's no longer a support but resistance, and then price kept going. So this is what we call SBR. Yeah, so conclusively, these are the types of support and resistance that we have in the market, and you should learn how to identify them on monthly, weekly, and daily time frames so that you'll be able to determine market direction from time to time. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and put on your notification bell for more educative contents like this. Bye for now and see you some other time.